And you've wrestled, listen, and you know JX very well. You know these guys in Jason Storm.
Yeah,
You've been in the ring with Jason Storm. So,
I've been in the ring with both of them. I've been in the ring with JX and Jason Storm in my, I think, third match for OMW, and Jason Storm sadly stopped me from taking my first loss as OMW United States
we
champion.
spoke about this here in the past when you were here the first time. We spoke about your history with Jason Storm. Absolutely.
I am yet to beat him in a match. I lost to him in a triple threat, and I lost him one on one in Can't Bother Wrestling, but well, that's a whole different conversation for another time.
Never heard of them, so don't worry about that. Never heard of them.
Yeah, but like, it just gets me so mad because people will say these things about me, and very few of them know the things that I've already casted out publicly, and I'm not afraid to say it because
You
I'm
know,
like,
you've had, listen, I've got, I want to get to comments in a second because I know we
you're
only have
good.
so much time with you, but I want to say this. I've gotten to know, I know what you've been dealing with at home. I know what you've
Hmm.
been dealing with in relationships. I know what you've been dealing with in the work struggle that you've had. And I think for what you've done coming here, whereas on the other hand, Mr. Delta, I mean, his ROEW, if you know, we're going to really go there. I mean, basically, you brought up some things. His ROEW run up until the new hair color change, what has it been? CJ Black, the good guy's beaten him multiple times. Jack Delta's obviously struggled with Jason Storm in the past. You talked about that. He was the ROEW champion last year in a different life. And Jack Delta and JX, we know their history. Some people think that despite it being the greatest match in the underground and the backyard wrestling circuit and being in our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame as our first match to be inducted, that Jack Delta couldn't put away the matchmaker JX. And maybe if you really look at it, Jack Delta's run in ROEW and maybe Jack Delta's runs in places over the past year or so has been very mid. Because let's be honest, the run in Indiana that Jack Delta had, we spoke about it here after you came on the show. He basically kind of said it without saying it. I said it for him. It was very mid. Lost to Jesse Justice. His run in North Carolina started with a lot of hype, but ended kind of with a whimper. And really, his time in Michigan has been, well, what has it been? Up until the new hair change, sure, he won a belt, but a lot of people felt that Jacob Collins should still be, of all people, Jacob Collins should still be the ROEW champion. So maybe really Aaron Blaze, it's Jack Delta who's been more of the mid when it comes to everything that we've talked about here. Maybe it's Jack Delta. And, you know, as a matter of fact, we talk about who's the greatest traveling wrestler in the backyard of the wrestling circuit. You know, Aaron Blaze, you were here a few weeks ago. You made a brief appearance on Sportswire Radio. And you were there with this guy, D'Angelo LaFlame. And
Oh, here we
Mr.
go with
Delta
this
had a
one.
lot of praise for D'Angelo LaFlame. And it was kind of hinted upon that maybe Mr. LaFlame should be in the position that you are. But after what you're telling me right now live, maybe at ROEW, it should really be Aaron Blaze wrestling D'Angelo LaFlame for that ROEW championship. Because if you really think about it, Jack Delta's basically been Houdini. He might be the luckiest man right now in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit because after the way he won the title and how he kept the title in ROEW, I mean, if you're going to wrestle him after what you did to him, for what you're telling us right here over the past half an hour, that you should be the guy facing off with D'Angelo LaFlame to decide who's the greatest traveling backyard underground wrestler in this circuit, and that Jack Delta really, he's just mid, basically, from what you're telling us today.
See, it's not a matter of mid, but it's more so a matter of. See, I'm not gonna say Delta's mid. I'm not gonna say that D'Angelo Flame is mid,
He's
but
the
it's more
one guy, though,
so
that's knocking on your footstep, though. He's the guy that's knocked on your door. Mr.
right.
Delta acknowledged him. You know, a lot of people come on this platform and say, I want to wrestle Jack Delta. Yeah, I want to do it. But he's stopped now multiple times and addressed him by name. He kind of glanced at some of the places you were on. I mean, you're the UWA Heritage Champion right now. And he
Right.
basically dismissed that. And he basically dismissed his time in UWA. You are doing a lot of great things for UWA. I think what you're doing for UWA is going to pay off in the long run. But he kind of dismissed your time as UWA Heritage Champion. Yeah, I had that belt. I went there. And, even CJ, the world champion there, off kind of the way he addressed certain things from Mr. Delta. That's, some would say, not the conduct of a world heavyweight champion, but you and I are on the same page, and I think UWA is a place to be. I think that UWA is a place that wrestlers should actually want to go out and wrestle for. But he basically almost piled on and crapped on your time there and crapped on your run as their champion. I mean, that kind of speaks volumes in a sense, don't you think?
It does, especially when he's, again, guilty of doing the exact same thing. And I understand people looking to D'Angelo LaFlame and Delta, of course. But it is so easy to look at the people that are handed and able and given these opportunities as opposed to the person that's kept out of the loop.
But you and D'Angelo are very similar in that you and D'Angelo have had to claw your way. He's gone to
Yeah.
places that a lot of people, they wouldn't say, hey, D'Angelo, you want to come? He went out there and did the old-fashioned way, just like you did. You went out
Yeah.
and gone to 19 companies the old-fashioned way. Mr. Delta's got the name. I mean, James Taylor's got the name. They've got the name. People will go to them because they know that they're a name. They'll attract more subs. They'll attract more views. There's no question. When Jack Delta comes to Sportswire Radio, people stop what they're doing. 20 people watching that live at 1 o'clock in the morning. When James Taylor's here, people can say whatever they want about James Taylor. When James Taylor is here, everybody drops what they're doing. So companies know that they want to work with them. But guys like you and LaFlame, you've had to travel thousands upon thousands of miles to go out and then go into companies and prove yourselves that you belong, when really the both of you guys, and especially you, after everything you've done, you don't need to prove anything at all. And as a matter of fact, those companies need to prove that they belong in order to have you there.
Right. And those companies, most of them end up doing the same things over and over and over again with the same people. And it's hard and almost in a sense pointless for people like me and Flame and even Delta at certain points to even bother going to these companies, because they'll bring us in, they'll bring in subs, they'll bring in views, and then they drag us across the mud so that they can look good and talk about how great they are. I'm not going to say who, you can pinpoint who I'm talking about, but it's just, of course they're going to be labeled as the big leagues when they don't let big stars into their league and give them a chance. And I think
Are
it's
you saying there's
disingenuous.
politics in the backyard in the underground wrestling?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And my run in Indiana is a shining example of that for both CBW and both XCW. I didn't really ask for much of anything. I asked if they needed help. I asked what did they need me to grab. I asked this, that, and the third. I never tried politicking my way into a title. I never tried anything of the nature. Okay, maybe for CBW because there's nobody of substance there, but that's a whole different conversation. But I am so sick of being told by all these people, "Oh, you've never been to all these places. You can't hang with the big dogs." How do you know that? How do you know that if I've never once stepped in those arenas? That's the thing. These people keep to themselves like a cult and then brag about how legendary they are. Like, I looked into VTW and all of a sudden Zach Daniels is world champion again. And he was wrestling under a mask the entire time. Or Mr. Judgment's been champion for God knows how long. Or Navon McDonald's been champion for God knows how long. And they say it's part of a
I mean,
story.
Jack Delta kind of found that out too, right? He was there in North Carolina in VTW, right? Is that a fair
Right, but
statement to make?
what's the story? You have 20 other fucking people working for you, and the same guy's been on top for 3 years. Like, they were still champion when I was back in high school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, every time you tune in, it's the same guys. It's the same guys. And the problem with backyard wrestling or underground wrestling or all wrestling, I'll just say all wrestling. The problem
Say
with
whatever you
wrestling,
want. You're live.
the
It's
problem
your
with
time.
YouTube wrestling is I noticed that with those companies in GTS, it's that they don't build for the future. And that's what pisses me off with this Delta thing, is that he is burnt out. Pun not intended. He I saw it in his eyes when I shook his hand and got in his face, Tom. He
Well,
is
you were
burnt
there with him in
out.
Indiana. Listen, you were there with him. I mean, people listen. I guess they have selective amnesia, but you were in that locker room with him, and
Yeah,
he talked about the fact many times that even last year around this time he was done, and he's talked about now
yeah,
to the fact that if he doesn't win and keep the ROEW championship, that's it. That's it. This is it from him. So, I mean, really, with all that being said, you take that championship away from Jack Delta, and you're the future. You're the one that's going to be here to stay. And Mr.
right.
Delta, we're not going to see him anymore in ROEW, I guess.
Right, and the thing is, I've been staying in this community the entire fucking time. I have helped edit videos for WWA. I try to convince Maximus not to close EBW down. I've been a special guest host for ETW Backyard Wrestling. I've done
You
all
were in
these
the
things
Nexus
behind the
too.
scenes.
Let's not forget
I
that
was
you
in
were
the
in the
Backyard
Nexus.
Wrestling Nexus. I have done all of these things. And Delta and an X Mile people still don't respect me because I'm at the lower tier. When who the fuck are half of these people to make any judgment or criticism of that when they've never been in my shoes and aren't in the means to do what I'm doing on a regular fucking basis? People like guys from not KBW, I'm sorry, DKW. There's so many fucking companies that I watch, it's getting ridiculous. People from DKW, Dark Kron, said that I'm not on the level of a Delta. XCW, not XCW, Jesus Christ, I'm getting confused with stupid people now. Xavier Thorne said that my company's third rate, but weren't you asking to be a part of that company and trying to steal footage from me because no one watches your shit any other time? How are you the stand up, but yet you can't even stand out on your own 2 feet?
Well, he's a psychopath now. He's got new rap
No,
music.
he's a legitimate psychopath. And I will say this about Thorne, actually get mental help. I'm saying this brother to brother, man to man,
Well,
person to person, get
Copper
help.
Dragon obviously tried to help him, but that's a whole nother conversation. I have a lot of comments. I have only got about 25 minutes with you, so let me run through comments.
You're good.
Zilla's our resident bot on Sportswire. Just say hello to Zilla.
Hi,
Can't
Zilla. I hope you're doing
can't
well.
wait to hear this. Oh, I
Hi,
think a lot
Jake.
of people are definitely looking forward to this. Hello to Jake Dvorak. Yes, there's definitely been some pipe bombs here over the past 45 minutes. Darkron is in the house. Obviously, Summer Bash is ahead. We'll have the guys here Thursday, this afternoon. The Heritage Champion might drop some bombs. I think so. And I think, by the way, good old Jakey boy is going to be here on Sportswire next week. So I think Jake
That's
Howe's
going to
going to
be
be here.
interesting.
Oh, I think get the popcorn ready
That's
because
going to be interesting.
Jake is going to be in the house and he's requested a microphone. So you just wait to what
Right.
Jake Howe has to say. It's going to be a headshot like performance. What did you think on Loose Cannon's rap video?
I think he fucking sucks. He needs to get a life.
Well,
I
we
would.
haven't seen him since you want to talk about pipe bombs and literally eviscerated him. Since then, he's been like wiped off the map. But apparently, somebody here, a wink and a nod, found some rap music. But you might want to say too, because next week there's somebody else that did some crack staff like research for us, and I'm gonna have another rap video. But stay tuned; it's not gonna be Thorns. Want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. John Trucker. John is one of the more premier streamers out there on YouTube. He's got over
Hi, John.
3,500 subscribers on YouTube. He was having a great conversation with me yesterday off the air, and I got to get him on Sportswire because he really is a big fan of underground and backyard wrestling. But he's like
That's
a
awesome.
serious game streamer. Yeah, he's got 3,500 plus subs on YouTube, so I have to get him on soon. Love the interview with Osiris. I thought you were spot on with what you said about the current state of ESW. Yes, ESW, one thing about very mid right now is ESW Shockwave. An unfortunate thing where the longer it goes on, the more they tarnish their legacy. Unfortunately, that's the case. Companies like ESW, the owner in XCW, unfortunately, they're living off the name, but they're not really doing anything to promote the brand. And I think that's kind of what the point was, the Osiris, and even some of the things you've been saying, which a lot of people out loud have said. There are owners in ESW, owners in XCW, and, they have this mindset, and it's what it is. Hello to Hellbilly Tilly from the Alliance Wrestling, another true
Hey,
yarder,
hello,
true
Tilly.
legend himself. Howdy, fellas. Hey, we are still backyard as hell. We don't have a real ring, but you're going to have a ring at Summer Bash. So we'll obviously, I'm sure, get into that. Want to say hello to Scorpion the Assassin. He's got a bunch of comments. Congratulations, Aaron. Keep putting in that work and climbing that ladder in this business. Companies are a dime a dozen. Your career is limited. So don't let anyone try to hold you back.
Damn right.
My friend Shane Davidson, but I'm going to just say hello because I know there's a back and forth, but I'm going to say Shane it's Aaron Blaze's moment. I'm sure that, we'll let you at some point talk about it, but I'm going to say right now, he's got important fish to fry right now. So, but happy birthday, happy belated birthday to my friend Shane Davidson. Scorpion though says Delta is more like Hogan, all talk with blown up head with limited skills. Aaron has more passion, heart, and drive. Interesting comments.
See, finally someone has fucking said it and acknowledges that truth. And again, let's go back to punching him in the face. I did that to wake him up because Delta's been sleeping in his little cave and his little imaginary bubble for so goddamn long, and he doesn't take me seriously, which means he doesn't respect me. I know a lot of people don't. They don't have to say it. They're already showing to me that they don't. They don't view me as a threat. They don't view me as someone that can take backyard and underground wrestling to bigger and greater heights. They don't view me as the future. They just see me as this little fanboy trying to pretend to be a performer. But I can outwork a handful of these people. I can outtalk a handful of these people. And I'm done being a good little soldier about it. The last thing I was going to do is accept what Delta had to say to my face, shake his hand, and sit down and back off like a good little soldier. I've done that in the comments for him for 3 fucking years. I'm tired of sitting back and waiting just for him to possibly leave again. Because here's the difference between me and Jack Delta. When the going gets tough, Jack Delta leaves and makes pizzas, folds boxes. When the going gets tough for Aaron Blaze, he gets more hours. He's up endless nights writing a script and editing. He's putting together collaborations. He's putting together trips. He's helping out his little brother. He's helping out his single mother. That's what Aaron Blaze is doing. And if you don't respect that, you don't know a single fucking thing about the term and the word respect. Because I've been doing that on a regular basis.
So, what kind of pizza does Jack Delta make?
Detroit style. 4 corners. Well done. Who the hell knows? I've actually had Detroit pizza and it's good, but that's not the point. The point is, when the going gets tough, he leaves. I'm still around even though I left. And that's why I need to take the ROEW World Championship. It's not even about winning 18 or 19 or whatever world championships for me. It's not even about saying, hey, I went to this place and I took this from them. No, I'm paving the way for the future, whether people like it or not. Because I'm so sick and tired of people labeling me as less than, when I know I am greater than these people on passion and performance.
So, what would it mean to you to be the ROEW champion?
Everything. It would mean that for all the years I was bullied doing this, that it was worth it. When my own family didn't believe in me and my vision, it would be worth it. For every single friend or girlfriend that's led me astray, that it was worth it. For me not pulling the trigger or hanging myself, that it was worth it. And it was worth it to become somebody and pave the way for the future, to give these kids or other people something to believe in. That no matter their race, no matter their weight, that they themselves can become something great. That is why I go to these companies. I don't just do it to rub salt in the wound of, hey, look what I won, look where I went. I do it to give people something to believe in and a reason to smile. I don't do it to stroke my own ego. I don't care if it's on mats. I don't care if it's a basement. I don't care if it's tarps, ground, ring, whatever. I'm not, racist against the environment. Like, I'll wrestle in any kind of capacity. I've taken light tubes across my bare skin. I've been drilled on the thumbtacks and Legos. I've been whipped with a leather belt with barbed wire. I've been stabbed in the back by my best friend and my cousin. I've gone through all these things to give the world a message, to make them feel for something. And I don't need to do a bunch of bullshit like all these other guys to make them get to that point. And the point is, I am the future because I live and pray and breathe for the future. And these guys are just stuck in the past. Delta represents the past. And it was working back then. It's not working now. It's not. Because how long is it going to take for him to suffer one more hit? And then he's gone for good. And then the ROEW championship's vacant. And then all the momentum this company has is done because of him.
So ROEW can't go forward with Jack Delta as champion. The only way that ROEW can reach the heights and the level of places like TBW, the places like, VTW and other places, ESW, is only with Aaron Blaze. as the ROEW champion. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yes. And it's so goddamn painful that so many people don't want to give me a shot. That so many people only want to bring me in and prop me up to weigh me down. It happened with Chris Jones. It happened with Elimination Chained. It happened with Desmond Cross. And you want to know what the funny thing is? Over half those people aren't even around anymore. Those people are either part-time or they're done. I'm still here. That's what really ticks me off with this whole thing, with all the situations that happened in Indiana and all these other people coming in and coming out. Division Nick, gone. Kurt Adams, gone. Fletch is halfway in this. So many people can't do this anymore because their bodies are giving up on them. I'm young and I'm hungry and I'm still going. And all those people I've listed in some capacity, I have beaten or out muscled, outperformed, and outsmarted. But you don't want to look at me. You're going to look at the past. And it's bullshit. How are we going to pave the way for the future if you're not going to look at the future? I'm not saying there's not other people that are qualified, but I damn sure believe I'm the most.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you need to follow ROEW at ROEW Backyard Wrestling. As you're watching it here on YouTube, they just surpassed 750 subscribers. Hit the sub button for them. They're on the way to 1,000. TikTok, ROEW Backyard Wrestling. Also Instagram at ROEW Backyard Wrestling. And we are here with the number one contender to the ROEW Championship. That is the headline, Aaron Blaze, who is also the UWA Heritage Champion. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. We're going to have about 15 or 20 more minutes or so with Aaron Blaze, the number one contender, who you're going to see later this week on ROEW Face Off in a good guy gossip segment with him and Jack Delta, the man that we're seeing right now on the screen. Let me get to some comments because a lot of people still want to chime in. James Taylor, your boss right now in ROEW, says hello, Mr. Tom and Mr. Blaze, and good to see you as well. And he's very happy with what you're saying. Mr. Taylor is very happy because he knows what's best for business. In many ways, James Taylor and you have a lot of similarities. You guys, some people in the community don't like, other people say, they go out in it for himself. But the facts are, is you and James Taylor have some of the most passion I've seen of anybody in this community. And that's why I'm very proud to have both of you here right now. And I agree with James 1,000%. What's best for business in ROEW is Aaron Blaze right now. And I'll dare say it right now. It's the epicenter of backyard and underground wrestling is ROEW. And everybody's talking about Jack Delta and Aaron Blaze. I was so excited to talk with you and Jack Delta. I had segments over the past week on Sportswire, and yeah, we did them. You know, we had a show on Tuesday last week, and it was what it was. And this Tuesday, on the other hand, though, I'm speaking with you, and I'm fired up, and I'm ready to go because all I want to do is talk about what's going on with ROEW, along with things like Riot in the Ring, along with things like the All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament. I think this is why ROEW is the place to be. Scorpion agrees. James also wants to say, you know something, guys? You know it would be big money? A triple threat match between LaFlame, Blaze, and Delta. Do you think that would happen, though? Do you think that that would be something that could happen? I mean, after all, that would be a dream match. I mean, the three men that have probably traveled the most miles of anybody in the backyard in the underground ever. I mean, if you think about it, certainly in 2024, I mean, what would you say on something like that? It's an interesting concept there from our ROEW owner, the most progressive owner and the greatest owner right now, I think, in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit has ever seen in James Taylor.
See, the thing is, Flame's not on my radar right now. He was before until I got serious. The only thing that I'm concerned with right now is pinning Jack Delta and holding that ROEW championship in my hands. However, I am not going to take away that D'Angelo LaFlame is, pun not intended, making more moments. I'm not going to take anything away from where he's gone and what he plans
He
to
just
do.
had a hell of a match at the Riot in the Ring with D Savage. He's got Jake Dvorak coming up this Friday. He's got Soldier GP at Summer Bash. I mean, D'Angelo LaFlame is definitely making waves, but he's not in ROEW. Right now, your focus is on Jack Delta. Your focus is on a man that obviously you've been following for a long time. You followed in his footsteps, but you want to prove to the world once and for all that you're the true outsider. You're the guy that's the greatest traveling wrestler that this backyard and underground wrestling circuit has seen. And you're the guy that's going to take ROEW to levels that not only ROEW has never seen, but truly maybe even in the backyard, the underground wrestling circuit. So I could certainly understand why your focus is only on the outsider, the so-called outsider, Jack Delta. Darkron, let me get to some comments here. Darkron says he wants to challenge Jack Delta with an emoji laugh. But Mr. Taylor says, DKW, have your CEO message me and maybe we can work something out. And he says he'll do that. I want to say hello to Isaac Garza. How you doing, Isaac? Nice to see you. I know where you're from. Oddly enough, I agree with Blaze. Man speaks truth. That's certainly a fair point. Also, here, anyone can travel. That doesn't make you the best or a hot commodity. If you last in a company, you have that loyalty and show those skills. That's what makes you wanted in a hot commodity. And I think that's interesting analogy there. It's a rather almost
Me,
baseball commentary like that.
me, because that's exactly what I fucking did towards the end of last year. I called off a whole week of work to make every single Halloween show in XCW.
And
I
how about
showed
the
up to
travel
viewers'
that you went
choice.
through? And you had to get
Yeah,
up there, help set up with the ring. You had to be there, and you were there
tear
with
it down.
you weren't getting home until days. I mean, what you did to go and make that commitment to Indiana. And even to this day, there are guys in Indiana questioning your commitment, questioning what you did for that
It's
company.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. Because I knew what you were going through to go to Indiana. I knew what you were doing to help that company. You were beyond selfless. You would dare say the most selfless person to have ever stepped foot in that company. To go out there, the miles that you traveled, what you did in terms of being there outside the ring, inside the ring, wrestling with the different talent. You were going there and taking time away from your own company and your own family. People don't know what you go through with your brother. People don't know what they go through with your mother. People don't know what they go through in terms of working to help put a roof over your head. You literally work so much to try to keep the roof over your head, let alone YBW, let alone the editing, let alone improving your craft. People don't know those things. And for people in Indiana or any other place, as a matter of fact, to challenge your commitment, to challenge your sacrifices to the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit, they may need to look in the mirror and they might want to reevaluate not only their own self in the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit, but maybe their own self, period. Because trust me, I see a lot of people in my life. I've met a lot of people. Now, a lot of people know on this platform, yes, I have been very successful in life. I would dare say in a shoot, I might be the most successful individual outside of the backyard of the underground wrestling circuit ever. That's a shoot, but it's also as something that I show to people is in a way that you can do it. You can do these things. And this young man is 19 years old. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, he's a baby still in this world. He is a baby in a man's world. But look at what this man has done. Whether it's in Indiana, whether it's in Tennessee, now in Michigan, his own company. He's gone out there, he's been selfless, he's shown the passion, and he's shown the commitment. And that's why he very well could be the greatest traveling wrestler of all time once he defeats the outsider, Jack Delta, not only to win that ROEW World Heavyweight Championship, but maybe to be the true outsider once and for all in the backyard of the wrestling circuit. Let's get to some more comments. Yeah, I think for 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we've got a bunch of people here live on YouTube at X. And I think, John, a lot of people are fired up. Absolutely. It's Aaron Blaze. Listen, Aaron Blaze doesn't come here often. Aaron Blaze is not here every day on Sportswire. It's not every day that we get Aaron Blaze to come here and say something. He's had a lot to get off his chest. And I can assure you that once he wrestles Jack Delta and takes that ROEW championship from him, Aaron Blaze is going to be here live and also probably be in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame right afterwards. So I have no doubt he's got a lot to say. So I know exactly what Blaze is talking about with the same people on top all the time. This backyard wrestling and the damn politics and some of these companies are a joke. I know how to run a company. I tell you what, since James took over the company, 750 subs now. You're playing here now. Jack Delta's decided he's an outsider. I mean, I hear more names are on the way. More things are ahead. We got a good guy gossip session. I mean, at the end of the day, the numbers speak for themselves. ROEW right now is the epicenter of the backyard of the underground wrestling circuit. And I'm proving that in ROEW today. I want to say hello to Brian Murray. Aaron, I don't want to blow your business up, but I'll say this. Do you show up? Yes. Do you perform? Yes. But let's cut the crap. You aren't the greatest. I tried to give you the advice, but you don't listen. Now, Tell us who this might be.
I don't even know who it is, and
Okay.
honestly, I don't care.
Okay.
I really don't care, because I only talk to a select few group of people, and I don't really know anybody named Brian. I think there might be someone that I used to talk to.
Hmm.
I don't know who this is,
Okay.
and I don't really care.
Okay.
But
Let me move on to the
everyone
rest of the
says that.
comments.
Everyone says that though.
Okay. Well, I want to move to the rest of the comments in the interest because I have only a couple of more minutes with you and a couple of questions I have to get through. Hello from Monoxide. So, hello there, Mr. Monoxide. Brother will reach out after this weekend show. Yes, definitely. I want to talk with you for sure. Absolutely. We've been talking, and I'm very happy about that. Sportswire now is becoming backyard wrestling's version of the Breakfast Club with all these guys rapping. And some people say I'm the greatest rapper of all time, but these are the guys that actually are. And it's not Loose Cannon, and it's not Xavier Thorne. I will say, though, real quick, I was actually on my way to yesterday's stream with Soldier GP on my way from one of my jobs in Manhattan. And I actually got stopped by somebody in my neighborhood. It was like, I think you've made it. I'm like, you think so? And he's like, yeah, I watch you all the time. And I
I'd
was
say
like,
so.
well, I made it in life, but I don't know about this, but we'll see. We'll move away from that. I want to say hello to DG Colt. I'm an Aaron Blaze guy. He's a good dude, said exactly what he means. Plus, he's got great taste in memes. And DG Colt is definitely somebody that he
Thank you.
knows what he's talking about, and he's one of my favorites. I've heard Delta's criticism, and admittedly, I respect it. I get it, but UWA is worth watching, and UWA is absolutely worth watching. UWA is on my team anytime, and UWA will always have a home on sports. But really, everybody has a home on sports. I want to say all the time, I feel like I eat, I bathe, I give people a home on this platform. Nobody is ever turned away on this platform, and UWA is on my team. I love all the guys in UWA. Everybody in UWA, from my vantage point, has been stand up. Everybody in UWA has been people that I want anytime on this platform, and you're the reason I'm speaking all the time with UWA. So I want to put that out there. I want to thank
Yep.
you, the headline Aaron Blaze, for connecting us with great people in UWA. And UWA will
You're
always
welcome.
be on my team. So you don't ever have to worry about that. Jake, Chase Sullivan, CJ, Mercer, everybody doesn't have to worry in UWA. Tristan Taylor was in the house last week, and he's back with a bang. So like and subbed came from Trucker Stream. Thank you, Jeremy, for that. That means so much to me. It means a lot, and I can't thank you enough. Blaze will indeed become the ROEW World Champion. Like and sub from John. Do you guys talk WWE and AEW? Friday night, 10 o'clock. Friday night, 10 o'clock. I will be talking what's going on with AEW and Shane McMahon, what's going on with WWE, and everything else in between. So 10 o'clock Friday nights. Come out and hang out with us. A couple of guys, Alan Michaels, Shane Davidson will be here. So absolutely, I'll be here 10 o'clock Eastern time talking WWE. In fact, as a matter of fact, I'll talk 24 hours a day. If you want, before I get to Mr. Blaze for a few more minutes, I'll
Oh
talk
God.
whatever you want. But no, seriously, I'm the one man. Listen, I'm here for you. You built the community. You're in luck because I'm the man that has the time to do this. I'm the man that can be here. I don't have to worry about the bills. I don't have to worry about a roof over my head. I don't have to worry
Tell me
about
what
making.
that's like.
Well, I worked for it. Let me tell you something. Listen. I didn't grow up with a gold, bronze, or silver spoon, but I worked to get the spoons. But the point is that I'll be
Mhm.
here. If you want me to be here, and the demand is there, I'll talk whatever you want. So Friday night, 10 o'clock, I'll talk WWE and AEW. But if you want it and you want the demand, you get the people like here right now at 2:15. Yeah, I'll talk whatever you want. I can do it. As much as, but you got to give me a bathroom break once in a while. As much as I'm
That's fair.
respecting Blaze and happy that he's here at ROEW, there's one thing. This match is going to be the biggest challenge in his career. I couldn't agree with you more. It's going to be
Yeah.
the greatest match. Yep. Blaze is one of the most respectful and kind people I've met. Really glad he's in UWA. He's been a great help, and I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm glad he's also a part of ROEW, and I'm glad he's here on this platform right now. Don't get me started on that company, but we're here with them, and I want everybody to have an opportunity. I want everybody to be here, and it's all wrestling matters, and UWA is on my team. Hello to the legendary Doc Holliday. And yep, I love Doc Holliday. By the way, he's going to be a big part of the Riot in the Ring on Friday. I got very limited time with you, so let me get to a couple of final questions.
You're
First,
fine.
what is your final words for the outsider, Jack Delta?
So I'm gonna bring a certain couple of things up in the good guy gossip that only he's gonna understand. So that's a little heads up. But that's the idea. I make people think about these certain things I say, and then they backtrack certain things that other people have done, and then they go watch it and they keep getting views. Like, it's all, everything I do is with purpose, and it's all connected because I want everybody to grow in the grand scheme of things. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I don't fear what CJ Black has to say or do. And if I'm not stupid. If he wants to swing, that's fine. Just know if he thinks about it, I will swing back and he'll be on the floor. Um, that's the second thing. The third thing is, I can go on here and on at the good guy gossip thing and talk about how this is going to be the greatest thing to ever hit backyard and underground wrestling, because people keep going into this mindset that it's going to be a match. Guys, I'm going to be real with you. This is a fight. I am fighting for my life, for my legacy, for my passion, for everything. This isn't going to be a technical showcase. This isn't going to be 9 stars in the Tokyo Dome. It's going to be my knee going off of Delta's dome piece and me holding up the ROEW World Championship, because I know I belong in that company, and that championship that's on the channel art looks good around my waist. I am not afraid to pull out things that he's mentioned or probably that he's going to mention and switch up my arsenal. I'm not afraid to remind him of his past and his origins and make him really remember and understand where I'm coming from and why I punched him in the face and why I stomped his head in and why I have no problem doing it again. And people can take that as, oh, you're not gonna fight Delta at 100% because you're scared, guys. Delta hasn't been 100% in 3 years. He's been burnt out physically and mentally, and now I'm gonna burn him out spiritually because he has all of his ideals and this big passion for this, and he wants everybody to improve, but only if he's at the top of the mountain. And that piece of stone is going to get cut off pretty quickly by me. Because I know no one wants to see it. Because who in the hell wants to accept a random kid who has all of this history, who has his own company, who has his own challenges, and is still traveling to be the guy that puts Jack Delta away for good? I get it. I get it. If I was looking on the outside of that, being an outsider, I wouldn't want to acknowledge that truth either. But it's the reality of the situation, because anybody else would be doing this for themselves. They're not doing it for the same reasons I'm doing it for. And that's the difference. So when there's a 1, 2, 3, and the ROEW championship is in my hands, I don't want to hear anything from Xavier Thorne. I don't want to hear anything from all these cult companies. I don't want to hear anything from people like Brian making remarks and all these people with backwards thoughts about me saying that Aaron Blaze can't go, Aaron Blaze can't do this, Aaron Blaze can't do that. The doubt ends because unless I win this match, people aren't going to take me seriously or want to book me or want me at the top of the mountain and can be proud of it. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not asking for people to want to have me at the top. I am taking it because I have paid my dues for too long, and it's gotten me super kicked. It's gotten me jackknifed. It's gotten me rolled up. It's gotten me beaten down. It's gotten me turned on. It's put so much dark energy and mana into my spirit, my body, and my life. I need this championship to rejuvenate me, to make it seem like everything I do isn't for nothing. Because I'm tired of feeling like nothing. I am something. I am somebody. And I'm tired of people labeling me as otherwise. I am now taking it. And I'm going to do it the right way.
I have two last questions for you. First, is this the biggest match of your career?
Yes. I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. If I lose this match, I'm not saying I'm going to leave ROEW. I'm not saying I'm going to retire because that's not the truth either. But if I, and I'm sorry for the background noise, I can't control it.
No, no. Listen, you're
But
Aaron Blaze. You got the floor.
but if I lose this match, it's going to sting a little bit because I don't feel like afterwards Delta would respect me. I don't feel like the community at large would. I feel like the only way I get what I want is if I win this match. And I said, I don't care how long it takes for me to do it. I'm the guy that puts Delta away and takes on our REW World Championship. It makes no sense for anybody else to do it. It has to be me, Tom. I'm saying that from the bottom of my heart. I'm not coming to you as Aaron Blaze the headline. I'm coming to you as Eamon Janae Schilling. It has to be me. It has to. And I don't want to wait later in the year. It needs to be within this month.
Well, he's talked about chapters. He's talked about the fact that this is chapter 2. We'll have to find out. I mean, obviously, the chapter could close real soon. He's talked about the fact that he's only going to have a long list of chapters, but I have, after what you've said tonight on this platform, I have no doubt that that chapter could close very early potentially. But I have one final question for you before we start. I know you have to run. You're obviously getting ready for the Good Guy Gossip session. You're obviously getting ready for a lot of things also RWW related. You got obviously calls with James Taylor, obviously calls with the locker room. But my last question is, are you the greatest traveling backyard and underground wrestler that this circuit has ever seen? That will be magnified with this victory that you've talked about. So are you the greatest traveling backyard and underground wrestler this circuit's ever seen?
No. I know my limits and I know to give credit where it's due. There are so many companies out there, and it's obvious that Jack Delta has physically ventured out to every single one. He's been to companies that I've been to, companies I will never be a part of, and companies I could potentially be on if certain people would pick up their phone and not leave me on red. I don't believe I'm the greatest traveler in the sense of numbers. I don't believe I'm the greatest traveler in that
But if
paradigm.
you win this match, and talk about what you did, then we should have a conversation putting you on the Mount Rushmore with the likes of Jack Delta. I mean, shouldn't that be the case? I mean, if you win this match, from what you're telling us today, I mean, you win this, you should be on that Mount Rushmore.
I feel like I already am, but it's more so for the biggest names in the yard and not traveling in regards to companies and
Okay, so
events
from a
and what.
traveling standpoint, you would be on the Mount Rushmore all time for sure. The championships you've won, the miles. I even brought you up with the tribal cheese and talked about wrestlers that are the 5 best. If you were to put 5 best in the UK versus 5 best in the backyard, you were on my team alongside Jack Delta. So there's
I
no
appreciate
question
that.
that you're on a Mount Rushmore. So, but if you beat Delta for the traveling circuit, shouldn't you then be on the Mount Rushmore easily?
No, because there's a difference between greatest of all time in the sense of just wrestling and then the places you have wrestled. Those are two completely different
Okay,
realms, and I
fair
know
enough.
that.
Okay.
But I do expect more doors to open for me after this because I feel like, and I even cut a promo last year when I was YBW Breakouts champion. Backyard wrestling fears me. That still holds true to me, I believe, because I'm younger, I'm hungrier, and I'm willing to sacrifice more in a single trip than any one of these guys will in a single year. The amount of my real life I have missed because of this. The
You've missed graduations, you've missed birthday
Yep.
parties, relationships. I mean, you've really, went through it all. And obviously, that's why we're so excited to see the match between Jack Delta and Aaron Blaze. Before that, though, this week, we're going to see on ROEW Backyard Wrestling's YouTube page at ROEW Backyard Wrestling, the Good Guy Gossip with CJ Black, Aaron Blaze, and Jack Delta. Those 3 men with 1 microphone. Oh, my God. You thought Friday with Jack Delta and Aaron Blaze was a live one. You thought the mic drops and the pipe bombs were going left and right. Wait until those 3 are in a room together at the ROEW arena. I would only want to say I would love to be a fly in that wall, but I'll certainly say I am hoping that we'll get one of the guys on from the fallout of that match. But I know you have to run. Let me give you closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say, and fire away.
To not that I'm trying to quote him and rip him off, but support backyard wrestling. It's where the real stars come from, and don't overlook the stars of tomorrow. I wish if everyone had a separate mindset and actually cared about this All Wrestling Matters movement and wanted to evolve, they would be more inclusive. I'm not saying that you have to give everyone a red carpet to who walks in the door. However, you shouldn't lock them out of the room that brings them into the conversation. That's all I have to say in that regard.
Okay, well, you know what? I have no doubt that the movement is definitely, as far as I'm concerned, is not locking out Aaron Blaze. And I think that the people on my team are definitely not locking him out. And I can't speak for the past. I can't speak for what's been done, but I can tell you what's ahead is that Aaron Blaze is going to be very much one of the leaders of that movement because he's about to take that ROEW championship away. It looks like from what he said today from the outsider, Jack Delta. They may call him the headline Aaron Blaze, but it looks like after what we see in the next few weeks, we could be calling the real outsider Aaron Blaze, but also the ROEW champion of the world. If you want to follow him, he's on Instagram, he's on Threads, also on TikTok. If you want to buy some merchandise from the YBW store, that goes a long way in supporting him. Also, YBW 2018 on YouTube. If you want to support him in the UWA, those are all those links there. Please support those. Everybody, it's about working together, open collaboration. We're all on the same team. Together we win. Let's support those that are out there. This man has given his blood, sweat, and tears, as Hillbilly Tilly always says. He has been at the epicenter of that. Let's support those who are going out there and have walked the miles to give us the opportunity to be here today and talking about what we love is backyard and underground wrestling. And he is a part of right now, maybe the hottest segment right now, maybe the hottest match right now. It's the talk of the town, right up there with Summer Bash and other things. It's Aaron Blaze and Jack Delta. ROEW's YouTube page where you got to get all the information from. And also here, Doc Holliday is going to be watching the legendary Doc Holliday. Thank you, Doc, for your support. And we'll see Jake also in the UWF on the 13th. But I know you got to run. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing the match. I hope to see you next time here, maybe as the ROEW champion, but also into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I look forward to all the things you do. Thank you so much for your support, your friendship, and everything else. And most importantly, to your sacrifices and your commitment to the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. And I can't wait to see you here in a few weeks.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I always love coming on here.
Well, we didn't have a mid-like show with you here. It might have been a midday, but this was definitely not a mid-show on Sportswire Radio. So thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. This is Aaron Blaze. He's the #1 contender to the ROEW Championship. He's also the UWA Heritage Champion. Thank you to the guys in UWA also for their support. John wants to say thank you also. Great show. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. I'll be here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Stay tuned for an announcement in a little while. And also ROEW, go hit them up for YouTube and also UWA. And I'll be here, everybody, and again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the #1 global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling
Wrestling matters.